Yo, what's going on, guys? So today, I have a movie that I've been really excited to watch for a while. And that is, of course, Gladiator 2. So, guys, a little thing about the original Gladiator movies. I just first watched it about 2 weeks before this movie came out. And yeah, I know, I'm a fraud. And I would agree with you, but I'm sorry, guys. There's just so many damn movies and shit to look at. Some things just get lost in the weeds. That's no excuse. I take my job as a film enthusiast very seriously. But anyway, that first movie was so damn good. Honestly, a 10 out of 10. And I really expected no less from a Ridley Scott film. He always comes to work, and this is one of his more revered films. And Russell Crowe sets the bar so damn high that it will be a little disingenuous to think anyone will be able to fill his shoes as the main protagonist of a Gladiator movie. So, let's get this straight. This sequel is not as terrible as people are saying it is. This movie is insanely flawed and has a good amount of problems about it. But I would give my life and the next one anytime if I have to watch this and not Venom 3 ever again. I would say the biggest problem with this movie for me is the main character. This guy. Yeah, sorry I don't know his name. Just doesn't have the aura of Russell Crowe from the first movie. He just doesn't have the screen presence or the charisma that one needs to star in a blockbuster film like this. And you can just tell in the movie they wanted the audience to feel the same way we felt about Maximus to Lucius. But it just doesn't stick. The movie isn't really funny at all, and he didn't have the personality that made me feel like actual troops would want to follow this man into battle. Oh, and another big issue I had with this installment is that it's low-key, guys, kind of copies the first one beat for beat. Yeah, some things are a tad different, but it's pretty much the same fucking thing as the first. The same character motivations, the same characters from the first doing the same things, and pretty much nothing has changed in Rome throughout all this time, so it just kind of makes the first movie seem like it had no significance at all. I don't know, maybe that's just me. Which I really don't like. I can't tell you guys how much I despise when a new film in a franchise comes out, and they pretty much negate anything good of what happened in the last movie. It just felt really weird seeing the same characters betraying the throne from the first movie, doing the exact same thing in this one. Now, I'm sure that you guys want to know about Denzel, and I will say that he is the best part of this movie, without a doubt. The GOAT still got it, and he is infectious as ever when the camera's on him. Now, throughout the movie, his character's choices, however, have a little explaining to do. He was first this very cool and calm guy, and to someone that seems like they're kind of trolling. And I say this because things that happen in this movie just happen so abruptly and so quick, they just move on. Like, this movie is over 2.5 hours, and it still felt like they were rushing throughout it. It's like they were afraid to make this into a 3+ hour long epic. I don't know why, but it's just what it seemed like. I can see if later on a cut of this movie comes out and it's a 20 minutes to a half hour longer, and just makes the movie that much better. Because it's not just Denzel's character that acts quickly. Everyone does. Lucius, the main character, has a clear motivation and vision for what he wants, and he just learns a little thing, and it completely changes his viewpoint. He does a complete 180, and he's on the complete other side of the conflict. Now, some of you may be wondering if at least the actual Gladiator battles are worth watching, and to that question I would say, yeah, because they aren't bad at all, but in the same way they are not comparable to the first movie Gladiator fights. And I know it's a little annoying to keep comparing it to the first, but I mean, if you're going to make a sequel to a movie to as good as the first one, you better have a damn good reason to exist. You know, the ways of always making the sequel bigger and more grand with more CGI doesn't really mean it's better. Do I think having a water battle in the Coliseum was impressive filmmaking-wise? Hell yeah, I do. I thought it was cool to see. Do I think it was a tad bit too much CGI as well? Yeah, yes, I do. But with that, it just doesn't have the same stakes and the edge of death and and on the brink of death as the first. And my heart wasn't pounding looking at the scene. My eyes weren't wide open looking at the fights. So while they are solid, it just doesn't compare to the original. And the sharks were just a tad too much. They were strictly there for spectacle and nothing else. I could go on and on about how the villains are spoiled little freaks, and how it gives no explanation on how or why these two got into power, or how Rome just doesn't seem as lived in as the first. Just feels like a little set with a lot of green screen, which a lot of things do nowadays. I can make a video on that itself. But anyway, it's just not really showing us the world, really. But hey, I could go on for days about this, guys. I was really disappointed in this movie, and it fell pretty short of expectations. So, I'm going to give this movie a 5.5 out of 10. Anyways, guys, what do you think about this movie if you've seen it? Let me know, but only if you want to. So, with that being said, I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.